to the Business and Bubbly podcast. This is the place for women in business who are on the journey of building their big ideas and want to have fun along the way. It's for those of us who also know we aren't meant to do business or life alone. Hi, I'm Charity Majors, your host and the founder of Business and Bubbly. Think of this kind of like the can I pick your brain chats that you've always wanted to have with those who are doing epic things, plus business besties, hype girls, and getting into massive action towards your next big idea all in the same place. Oh, and bubbles, because if you're not having fun along the way, you're not doing it right. Together, we'll unlock what it means to be seen, known, heard, and championed all along the ups and downs of entrepreneurship and being a woman in business building big dreams. Each week, I'll bring you a quick sip business tip, as well as interviews from top experts that make you feel like you're getting bottle service for your business. We're having the raw and real conversations and chatting about all the things, the messy middle, the pivots, scaling, the good days and the bad days, because here we do real. It's where we can work hard, play hard, cry it out, and dance it out all at the same time without being judged. This is a place where we are in the arena together and we are each other's biggest fans because most of us have enough comments from the cheap seats. It's where our too much is par for the course and where the gaps of our not enough are filled in by the other epic women that are around us. It's where we can be unapologetic about the mission we are on, about the big dreams on our heart, and the business we are building without having to be perfect or have it all together, or even pretend to. It's a supportive community where business is being done amongst like-minded women, because when money gets in the hands of good women, great things happen. It's a place where you have the support around you to get out of your comfort zone and go after your big ideas, because even when you fail forward or when you reach the top, you know it won't be alone. Also, if you know anything about me, you'll know that I'm obsessed with creating platforms that lift up other women to be seen and heard and known. So with that in mind, I'd like to invite you to list your business on our directory called Find Women in Business. All you've got to do is text the word directory to 833-231-8098, and I'll text you the link back to get your free listing. This is also a great way to connect with other women in business from around the world, so definitely check it out. And now let's get to the good stuff. Grab a glass of your favorite beverage, Prosecco, bubbly water, or whatever your flavor is, and let's dive in. Are you with me? Here we go. Hey, I'm going to jump in here and interrupt the episode just for a minute to remind you about our Rise Summit coming up September 29th and 30th in Boise, Idaho. It is going to be an incredible weekend of empowerment, connections, and the tangible takeaways designed to help you take action on your big ideas. No more hoping, no more dreaming, no more notebooks filled with useless information that will just go back on your bookshelf and you not do anything about it. This is actually going to be the tangible takeaways and the connections that you need to take action on your big ideas and that next level of growth that you know you are being called to in your business and in your life. The Rise Summit is for you as a woman in business who you are ready to get in the room. You know the magic of what happens when you get in the room, in an environment that sparks creativity, that gets you in the right conversations around the right people that will not let you stay where you have been, but they will draw out the best in you and see you for who you are and who you know you are being called to be. It's all about what's working now in marketing, in business. You're going to get the next steps to grow your business, to grow your network, and you are invited. Join Join modern day industry leaders who believe it's time for women in business to stop safely hiding in the background and playing small in your business. Girl, it is time to rise. We believe it's time for women in business to step up and out. The time is now to be the boss of your business and dare to believe that you have what it takes to succeed and to learn the marketing strategies that you need for your business to thrive and to have a lot of fun doing it. So join us for the Rise Summit because like bubbly and together we rise. It's happening Friday, September 29th and 30th in Boise, Idaho. At the time that you're listening to this, that we have limited tickets left. On Friday the 29th, we have our VIP. It's called our Favorite Self Kickoff Party. This is one of the best times, and this is where you get to show up as your favorite self as a woman in business. So if you have that outfit in the closet, you've been wanting an event to wear it to, girl, this is the place. You get to show up not as your best self. That's like exhausting. Like sometimes I know I'm a mom and I don't shower and that doesn't always feel like my best self. So we have changed it to our favorite self. So you get to show up as your favorite self, fully expressed as an incredible, powerful woman in business at our VIP kickoff party on the 29th, and then all day Saturday the 30th, we have incredible speakers. We are doing really specific connections so that you not only leave with a greater network, but genuine connection with like-minded women in business. And like I said, the tangible takeaways designed to help you take action on your big ideas so that you can step in and grow your business. Head on over to businessandbubbly.com/summit. Get one of the last tickets that we have available. We would love, love, love to see you in person. I want to give you a personal hug and just be your biggest hype girl and your biggest fan and get to know you in person. So come join us September 29th and 30th at the Rise Summit in Boise, Idaho. Go to businessandbubbly.com/summit and we will see you there. Hey sis, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Charity Majors, and this is a quick sip episode where we are going to be talking about the 6 C's for a strong community. Now, if you are maybe a part of a community or maybe you're a community builder, this is going to be for you. Or maybe you want to dive into community and you're not quite sure which one would be a good fit. These are some really great things to keep an eye out for when it comes to either having or building a strong community. And this episode is actually brought to you by our Business and Bubbly Rise Summit happening September 29th and 30th in Boise. We are almost sold out. This is going to be an incredible weekend of not only empowerment, genuine connection, but also tangible takeaways for you to expand your business, to expand your personal growth, expand your business growth, and expand your network. So come get in the room. There's nothing that replaces the magic of being in the room and being around like-minded women, around collaborative women. And you are just one connection or one collaboration away from your next level. So come get in the room with us and head on over to businessandbubbly.com/summit to get your ticket and come join us at the Rise Summit because together and like bubbly, we rise. All right, now back to the 6 C's for a strong community. The first C is care. Now, people won't care how much you know until they know how much you care. This is a pretty common, somewhat I would say like little cliche saying, but there is so much truth to it because how many times have you been around someone and they just all of a sudden, like they're just the know-all, end-all, be-all, like the smartest person in the room and they know way more than you. And you're just like, actually, that's great. Like, I don't really want to be around you. Or like, that's great that you know so much, but like, do you really care about what's going on? Or even with your clients and customers, they aren't going to care how much you know about your product, your service, the ingredients, the whatever it might be, how amazing your thing is, which I'm sure it is. It's great until they know that you care about them, until they know that you genuinely care about their well-being, about the product or the service that you offer them that will help enhance their life, that will help make them better, that you are genuinely like in their corner and that you care. So my encouragement for you for the first C with care is that make sure that people know that you really care about them and that you come into a community with the intention to care, to get to know people, to serve people, to love people, not to just go in the room and to be the most interesting, like be the most interested, ask people questions, ask them about their story. We all have this deep intrinsic desire to be seen, heard, to be known, and to belong. And when you can genuinely show someone that you care, then they're going to really care how much you know. And it won't happen until then. So that's C number 1. C at number 2 is connection. Now, here's what's really interesting about connection is that it actually doesn't happen, for the most part, by chance. Like, it doesn't happen on accident. At really good, genuine connection, like, yes, there are those initial conversations where you are just like sparks are flying with a friendship, or you are just feeling the vibe. You're feeling like you're really connecting with this one person or this person that you're having a conversation with. And that doesn't stay there unless it's with intention. Okay, so connection, genuine connection, doesn't happen by chance. Now, for you as a community builder, this is you. If you're a community builder, then listen up to this, because here's where you actually have to really get intentional about curating and facilitating deeper connection in the room. So what we do with our communities, with our chapter directors, I actually teach and equip our chapter directors to really create genuine and to facilitate deeper connection. And part of this happens by inviting people into better conversations. Now, the way that better conversations happen versus just like most people walk into a networking event or into a conversation with a new person and they're like, so what do you do? Wah, wah, wah. Like, okay, stop asking that question. And I actually want you to get really, really good at asking better questions, because we believe, like, one of our mottos is that when we can ask better questions and get brave with our answers, right? It's a two-way street. Like, there has to be able to be at least some level of an invitation to safety, an invitation to deep dive into the, to deep dive into the deep end of the pool, versus just like dip your toe in the water and stay on the surface of conversation. But it doesn't happen on purpose. It actually happens, or it doesn't happen by accident. It actually happens with intention. Connections happen intentionally. And if you want better connection, you've got to ask better questions and get brave with your answers. Okay. So if you're a community builder, get really, really good at teaching your community how to ask better questions. We do this. We actually have our special Business and Bubbly connection cards. We do this by really creating in-depth conversation, by really bringing value to the room, by inviting our women into emotional health with community, by inviting our women into personal growth and personal development, by inviting our women, yes, into the tangible strategies for their business, but business growth happens as personal growth happens. So for us, we are really, really invested in the invitation to growth for our women. And then what that does is that we actually, and what happens is that deep connections happen, because when people go through a shared experience together, connection happens. When we ask better questions and get brave with our answers, connection happens. But here's the thing when it comes to connection is it isn't necessarily sustained over a long period of time unless there is the understanding of both mutual parties that this is okay. So I'm going to give you an example for this. So when we were younger and we went to school with our friends, or you played on sports teams with your friends, a lot of times, or maybe you're in a workplace, in your job,
And a lot of times you're just kind of where you have friends and connections by default, just by association, by we're being in the same room together, we're in the same classroom together, we're playing on the same team together, right? All of those connections are good. It's like a frequency of like high frequency of connection, high frequency. You're in practice together, you're on the same team together, you're in the same classroom together. It's high frequency. You're in the same workplace together. You see each other every day. So it's high frequency. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's deep connection, but there is high frequency of connection. And then as we get older, maybe if you're an entrepreneur, a woman in business, maybe connections are different. Maybe you're not as maybe you're a solopreneur and you're finding that you're in a lonelier season, or that you aren't always around the same people because of life. And so as we are in now a different season of life, connections actually have to happen on purpose. And you can also normalize that connections can still be really rich and really deep and really, really valuable with lower frequency. So those are like your really good friends. Like I'll give you an example. I have a really good friend who we get together every few months. But it's really, really rich and really, really deep. And there is the grace and the understanding and the security in each of us and who we are in our friendship, that first of all, that we don't have to get together like every week and post on Instagram and like that has to be Instagram worthy and look at everyone, we're just getting together, blah, 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 blah. Like, look at us, like we're together. Like we actually, most of the time we get together, we actually like don't even have our phones out because the conversation is so rich and so deep. And you would, like from the outside looking in, like you would probably never even know that we were friends. But we are. And it's incredible friendship. It's incredible conversation. And both of us have the shared understanding and the shared expectation and the shared security in who we are and in our friendship, that we're actually okay that in this season that it's really rich and it's really deep, and it's okay that it's every few months. Okay. So that's an example of like a high quality connection, even with a lower frequency of connection. And then there are obviously those connections. So like, for example, like with my husband, I see him all the time, obviously. And there are differences, different levels of connection on kind of the day to day. It's like the little connections that add up, that matter, as well as then our intimate connections and our date nights and the conversations that we have that really cultivate the longevity of our connection. Like we've been together, we just had our 13th wedding anniversary. We've been together over 16 years, and that longevity of connection happens again with intention. All right, so connection doesn't happen by chance the majority of the time. It actually takes intention. And when it comes to then connection, there's this juxtaposition of, say you come into a room like our Rise Summit, or say you come into a room and you connect with somebody, and there's this beautiful connection, beautiful conversation. And there's also just the allowing, like the permission to allow it just to be that one beautiful connection, that one beautiful conversation, without the expectation that you guys are now BFFs, without the expectation that you need something from them or that they need something from you, unless those conversations happen to continue that connection and that conversation, right? There are different levels of connection. So if you can kind of think of let's take social media, for instance, or let's actually take this analogy of a house. So transparency is like when people can see through your window. That's like social media. That's like your podcast. That is kind of when people are kind of in your orbit. They get a glimpse into your life. And that's really great. Like there's transparency. And I think actually I'm going to go on this little rabbit trail for a second, is that there's this really interesting misunderstanding of vulnerability or intimacy versus transparency, especially in the online world. Now, when it comes to like vulnerability and intimacy, those are actually places of someone's life that are really, really earned and honored and invited into. Not everyone actually gets invited into those spaces, and not everyone is meant to. Okay. And here's the thing, like there's this, oh, like be authentic, like be vulnerable, like, yes, do that. And also understand that emotional boundaries are really, really healthy. And that not everyone, first of all, is worthy or needs to know every part of you and your story. So I'm going to give you this analogy of the house, right? Like you got windows on the outside of your house where people can see in, they can come and knock on your door. Maybe you have a chat with them on the front porch. Maybe they get to peek in through your windows. Then some people you're going to invite into your living room to have a seat at your dinner table to kind of get a little bit more plugged into like in your inner circle, in your inner community. And then another level deeper is that here's the thing is that not everyone gets invited into your bedroom, which is the most intimate parts of you, right? And in I think this online world, this connected world, we can get really kind of jumbled. We can get kind of mixed up with that. And so my invitation to you is to actually really understand the difference. Social media, things like the podcast, like I am giving you glimpses into my heart, into my life, into our, process, into our strategy, that type of thing. But there's a difference about knowing of someone compared to knowing someone. Like you can know about Justin Bieber or Beyonce, but there's a difference between then knowing Beyonce, like sitting at her dinner table or like sitting on like getting invited like into her closest inner circle. And so understand that there's that difference, kind of like the house, right? And that understanding of that connection and the different levels of that connection actually creates for really, really healthy connection, really, really healthy communication, and really, really healthy relationships. And that's what we're really about. So that was connection was number 2. Number 3 is communication. Number 3 of the 6 C's for a strong community. Number 3 is communication. Now, here's the thing, is that 93% of communication is actually nonverbal. 93% of communication is nonverbal. So what this means is that for all the keyboard warriors out there, a lot of communication, most of the communication, like when it comes to just like words on a screen, most of communication is actually lost in translation. And I don't know about you, but like it's like text on a screen can also leave a lot of space for interpretation, right? There's a difference between, so here's an example. If you see on a screen, it says, hello, exclamation point, right? We're probably reading that in like a great, like a happy, like, hello, like great. Or a hello with a question mark. Okay, it's like, hello, 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 hello. Like, can you see how I'm like saying the same thing? But the difference is in my voice, it's in my tone, it's my inflection. Obviously, this is a podcast, so you can't necessarily see my body language, but if my head bobbing back and forth, or I'm like, hello, or like, are my eyes squinting? Do I have like an attitude on my face? Like, what's going on now with my body language and my voice inflections? Or, okay, now all of a sudden we see the word hello on a screen, it's hello, period. Like, now, how do we read that? How do we interpret that? Or was just hello with nothing, like no emojis, no extra like interpretation. And then what we actually do is we read that through our own filter. So what type of a day are you having? Are you having a good day? Are you having a bad day? Are you like having a blah day? Like, how are you reading now that word on the screen? So there is so much more room for error when it comes to communication, especially on a screen. And so when it comes to communication, we have to understand that 93% of communication is nonverbal. So it's not just what you say, but it's also how you say it, right? It's not just what you say, but it's how you say it. So this is, again, your voice inflection. This is That means, are you like, here's what's really interesting. If you've ever done any like studies on, if you've ever like taken any speaking training or any psychology when it comes to communication. I actually have a psychology degree, side note. So this part's really fun for me. Actually, you really geek out on all this stuff. But when it comes to communication, and this 93% of communication that's nonverbal that we can't quite put our finger on it, but we know that it's there, is that we pick up on communication in the world around us when we're babies. Okay, so at the time that I'm recording this, she's 7 months old. She can't speak yet, right? She's nonverbal. She just is like making fun little baby sounds and little squawks and little coos and all this fun stuff, right? So she can't say words yet. She's picking up on the world around her by our body language. And that is all getting ingrained subconsciously for her. And it's the same for you. We all actually, the view of the world around us that we pick up and the options that we have and what's available to us in the world is actually 80 to 90% of that is ingrained in us by the time we are 7. And so that then affects how we view the world, how we view other people around us, how we view what's available to us, how we view our mindset, the inner monologue that goes on inside of us. That's all, unless we have gone back and healed some different parts of us or upgraded programming, we will actually tend to live out the beliefs that we've picked up or the environment that we picked up that we were in from 0 to 7. We will repeat that over and over and over until we repair some of those different things or upgrade some of our programming and thank those parts of us that allowed us to get through with the understanding that we had back at that time, and then continue to grow and evolve, right? This is the personal growth journey. So that communication piece is huge. And a lot of this, again, it's all this subconscious understanding. And so communication, again, it's 93% is nonverbal. So it's not just what you say, it's how you say it, which can be hard, right? If you're a woman in business, you probably have a sales page, you have a website, you're on social media, you're typing things out. But this is where it gets really, really important. I actually wanted to go back to the point of if you've ever taken any speaker training, even what you say and how you say it is really important. And I'm going to give you this example. So if I am talking actually more in a lower register of my voice, like more in what's called your chest voice, that's actually seen with more authority, with more power, with more expertise compared to sometimes, like if someone has either a higher pitched voice or what happens when we get nervous or when we are like, we're kind of like, oh, like it, all of a sudden it gets in this higher head voice. You can always, there's this now underlying, like you're going to feel the nervousness and the speed of what it is that I'm saying. Okay. So there's speed, there's inflection, there's tone of voice, all in this communication. And so I'm going to show you the difference. If I all of a sudden like start talking like this, like in my head voice and I'm talking really, really fast and you're going to come to this thing, blah, 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 like what does that instantly do to you? Like feel it in your body. I know for me, even as I'm saying that, I am like it makes me nervous. Right? Like that just like gives me a little bit of like nervous energy. But here's the thing is that now all of a sudden when I'm speaking or when I'm sharing, when it's coming from this chest voice, it actually is coming from this more really grounded and solid place. And I'm able to use the speed of what I'm saying. I'm able to use even the volume of what I'm saying, or even the pronunciation of what I'm saying to get the point across. So is this kind of making sense? Are you hearing the difference in communication and how important it is that it's not just what you say, but it's how you say it? And that is like every part of your body and your being, like, has to believe what you're saying. Otherwise, it's going to show up in disbelief in different ways. And that's okay. Like a part of that is just the journey of what it looks like to not fake it till you make it. I think that's dumb. But to embodying what it is that you're being called to embody in your next level. Okay. So our first our first three C's, again, are care. So people won't know how much, or people won't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So come into the community with intention to care, to get to know, to serve, and to love people. Number 2, connection. Connection doesn't happen by chance the majority of the time. Connections happen intentionally. And if you want better connection, you've got to ask better questions and get brave with your answers. Number 3, communication. 93% of communication is nonverbal. So it's not just what you say, it's also how you say it. So when it comes to your business, get the confidence to say what you mean and back it up with what you say. Okay, so it's this like fun little circle that goes around and around that you get to say what you mean and back it up with what you say. Say what you mean and back it up with what you say. And that's how you not only grow in the confidence in yourself, but you also start to really embody what it is that you're saying, because there's so much power in our words. And again, 93% of communication is nonverbal. So those are our first 3 C's of our 6 C's for a strong community. And to get the other 3, you are going to have to tune in to next week's episode or the next episode. These are our first 3. Truth talk. I'll just be real honest with you. I was actually going to do all 6 of them, but this is getting into now a 20+ minute episode, and these are supposed to be quick sips. And when it comes to podcasting, this is actually kind of the sweet spot of when most people are kind of done with listening to something and want to move on to the next thing. So you're going to have to get the next 3 on the next episode. And I'm totally improving now at this moment because I was planning on doing all 6 of them. But instead of talking your ear off in this one episode, we're going to make it 2. And it is really good. So tune into the next episode for the next 3 C's of the 6 C's of building a strong community. And I would actually love to hear what your favorite one is so far. So come find me on Instagram. My personal handle is @CharityMajors, or we have our Business and Bubbly Instagram, our Instagram handle. And let me know what your favorite one is. Let me know maybe if you're a community builder or if you're involved in community, and what it looks like for whether it's these first 3 and then you listen to the next episode with the next 3. Like, let me know what your favorite is, which one maybe you're going to work on with intention, which one maybe gave you an aha moment. I would just love to kind of open up a conversation and expand on that. So let me know on IG. Come hang out. Come say hi. I genuinely want to get to know you. I genuinely want to continue to cheer you on and to be one of your biggest fans. I'm literally one of the best hype girls. This is like ingrained in my blood. Side note, we're just going to go for it. Okay. Side note. So my mom, she is one of the best hype girls I have ever met. Like one of the biggest, like, believers in people, sees the best in others. And I was raised in that. And so being someone's hype girl, whether I am like intimate, like you're in my inner circle or not, is actually really, really authentic to me. And I believe in you so much for the potential that's inside of you, the dreams and the desires that are on your heart. And this actually comes from a journey that I have been on in my past, then journeying through loss and coming out of that healing journey, knowing that there are a million pieces and parts that have to come together for life to be sustained. It's not a mistake that you're here. It's not a mistake that the dreams that you have on your heart are actually there. Do you know that the word heart in the Hebrew actually is translated to mean that that thing is being intertwined with your very being? And so that dream that you have on your heart, that big idea that you have that you want to pursue, what you want to do with your business, with your life, with your family, with your personal growth, with this circle of friends and your community that you have around you, that's there for a reason. And it is intertwined in your very being. And I believe in that so much. This actually is one of the big messages. I have another podcast that's called Meant for More, and my book, Meant for More, Igniting Your Purpose in a World That Tries to Dim Your Light. And so this is a message that actually comes genuinely from my heart, that I believe in miracle and the big ideas and the dreams and the purpose that you have in your heart and on your life. And so I am genuinely in your corner, and I am genuinely want you to succeed and to fulfill the potential and the destiny that you have in your life. And if I can be a stand for you, like a stand for belief in you, even if you can't be a stand for yourself, or just to invite you into better conversation. Even if it's solely on Instagram and we become internet besties, like I would love that. So that's my part of my heart. And that's part of why I do this. So come find me on Instagram, open up a conversation. Let me know which one of these 3 C's so far. And then if you listen to the next episode, which of the 6 C's for a strong community really resonates with you. And let's just chat. I would love to have a conversation with you and connect. All right, my friend, have an incredible day. I believe in you. And cheers to your success. We'll talk to you next time.
Thank you so much for listening to the show. I hope it brought some value and some fun into your business and life. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast, and even share the episode with a fellow business bestie who you know will love it. It helps us continue to attract top-level guests and reach more and more women who are on their journey in business just like you. Remember that when money gets in the hands of good women, great things happen. Cheers to your success.